Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining us for today's session. If you have any questions throughout today's presentation, feel free to use the Q&A feature. My colleagues will be answering some questions there virtually, and then we'll also answer some questions live at the end of today's event. As you just saw in the video, hopefully you got a feel for the culture and community that is at the Sloan School of Management. Part of what we do in the Sloan School of Management is developing principled, innovative leaders who improve the world and generating ideas that advance management practice. This is our mission statement and truly at the heart of everything that we do within the Sloan School of Management. As you think about the first part of our mission, developing principled, innovative leaders who improve the world, this is done particularly through our portfolio of programs. We have a variety of programs offered for various points in your students' careers, from early career programs to mid-career programs like our Sloan Fellows MBA and our Executive MBA program. Today, we're here to share more about our Sloan Fellows MBA, which we often refer to as the SF MBA program here at Sloan. Our Sloan Fellows MBA program is a fully immersive one-year experience. At the end of the 12 months, students get one of three degrees, either an MBA, a master's in management, or a master's in the management of technology. For those that pursue one of the master's degrees, they also complete a thesis during their 12 months on campus. The degree is really focused on the science of management and data-driven decisions with principles of innovation and entrepreneurship in everything that we do. The Sloan Fellows MBA program is a global community with over 40 countries represented every year, and a lot of global perspectives brought into the classroom. As a Sloan Fellows MBA student, you're also an MIT student, and so you have access not just to Sloan resources, but resources across the broader MIT Institute. And the Sloan Fellows MBA program is really designed to be flexible and customizable so that regardless of where you're coming into the program from, there are a lot of opportunities and experiences for you to engage and customize that degree to exactly what you need based on those previous experiences, but also where you want to go after in your career. So today's agenda, I'm going to share a little bit more about the curriculum of the Sloan Fellows MBA program. We'll talk about the community aspects, career development support services, and then go into Q&A at the end of today's event. Again, feel free to use the Q&A feature to pose any questions to my team, and then we'll answer some questions live at the end of the session. So let's talk about the curriculum of the Sloan Fellows MBA program. Starting in the first semester, students have a strong emphasis on teamwork and collaboration. You are put into a variety of groups, a learning team and a study group in your first semester to really have an additional support system within the broader Sloan Fellows MBA program. You will support each other throughout the 12 months, and this network that you're building during your time will be a network that you'll have for the rest of your careers as well. One of the important components of the Sloan Fellows MBA program is a focus on leadership. And so you start establishing the foundations even before arriving on campus with a 360-degree leadership assessment. And then throughout the program, you have executive coaching sessions. As I previously mentioned, students pursuing one of the two master's options will complete a thesis. There's also the opportunity to do a one-semester independent study for folks that are interested in additional research opportunities. So previously, I talked a little bit about how the Sloan Fellows MBA program is both flexible and customizable. So let's talk about what that means for the Sloan Fellows program. You have a very flexible path in that each student kind of designs their own path throughout the program and has a lot of opportunities to make different choices depending on their experiences. So all students, incoming students, will start preparing for the classroom even before arriving on campus. You'll start getting to know the other incoming students. You'll identify various administrative items such as housing and the student visa process during the springtime. All students complete a little bit of academic prep work, and then you'll also do your 360 leadership survey. All of those things happen before you even arrive on campus. Once students arrive on campus, they have an in-person June orientation. This is a 4-day period really focused on getting you acquainted with the various resources on campus, getting you acquainted with the executive degree program team who supports our Sloan Fellows MBA students and our executive MBA students, and really getting you acquainted with the other folks that are in your class, and starting to form that community within the Sloan Fellows program. After that, June orientation, then you start your summer courses. Summer courses are only core classes, so you'll take 7 out of your 9 core classes during the summer term. You will not take any electives during the summer, so the classes that you're taking are only with other Sloan Fellows MBA students. There's intensive teamwork. Again, you'll be developing learning groups and study groups to support your development throughout the 12 months. You'll start focusing on leadership development using things such as your 360 leadership assessment and executive coaching to get started on those aspects, and really building that learning community that will support you through the 12 months. This is the only semester that all of your classes are with other Sloan Fellows MBA, and so this is a really important semester to really build that community within the cohort. After the summer term, you have about a week off before your fall semester courses begin. Fall is a more lively time on campus as many of our other programs are starting or some of our second year students are returning to campus. And so there are a lot of folks on campus and a lot of opportunities to begin engaging with folks in the broader portfolio of programs, such as our Masters of Finance students or Masters of Business Analytics students, 2-year MBA students. You'll have plenty of opportunities to engage with them starting in this semester. During the fall semester, you'll take 1 core class and the rest of your classes will be electives. Depending on the number of units that you choose, you might be taking anywhere from 4 to 7 elective courses during the fall semester. During this time, there will also be frequent interactions with senior executives and entrepreneurs, and you have the opportunity to really choose what teaching method may work best for your learning style. There are a variety of opportunities with classes that might be lecture or case-based. There are project-based learning courses. Action learning is a type of class that I'll talk about in a little more detail, but you have the opportunity to pick from hundreds of electives to really start crafting the degree. After the fall semester, you'll have a few weeks off for your winter break. And then here across MIT, we have our independent activities period. During this period, there are a lot of opportunities for Sloan Fellows to engage in a variety of different types of courses. Some of those are a negotiation seminar that a lot of Sloan Fellows take, either 6 or 9 electives. That happens during IAP. There's also the opportunity to take January executive electives. These are a unique offering that are only available to current Sloan Fellows MBA students, current executive MBA students, and alumni of both of the programs. They're about 2-day courses, intensive courses where you focus on a specific topic, and it's really great for the learnings that happen in the class, but also a really great opportunity for further networking beyond your cohort in the Sloan Fellows MBA. This past January, we had about over 350 alumni come back for the January executive elective period. During IAP, students who are pursuing one of the master's degrees will continue working on their thesis. And then there may be opportunities for international experiences, whether formally through Action Learning Labs or informally through opportunities with your classmates or in the broader Sloan community. After IAP, students have a spring semester. Again, you take 1 core class during the spring semester and the rest of your classes are electives. Again, you're choosing from hundreds of courses to really design the degree to what you need it to be. And then students graduate in May. So a lot is packed into 12 months, a lot of opportunities and experiences. And then students go off into the world. Many students choose to remain in the US, and some might be returning to their home countries or the countries that they were living in prior to the program. This is just a snapshot of some of the popular electives that Sloan Fellows have taken in the past. You'll notice some of the offerings might be Sloan Fellows MBA specific, such as strategic leadership communication. A lot of the other offerings are open to students across the portfolio of programs. So again, a lot of opportunities not just to form community with the Sloan Fellows MBA, but also forming community and connections in the broader Sloan ecosystem. So we've talked about kind of that flexible path and how students have various points of opportunity to choose what classes they're taking. Um, let's talk about some of the ways that students might customize the degree. There are a variety of ways. The first one is through certificates. So as a Sloan Fellows MBA student, you could pursue up to 2 certificates during your time. It does take a lot of time management and proactive planning to do that, but it certainly is possible. We have 7 certificates in business analytics, enterprise management, entrepreneurship and innovation, finance, healthcare, product management, and sustainability. These certificates require 45 units of electives to be focused on that specific topic, and typically a certificate requires 2 to 3 specific courses and then 2 to 3 elective offerings in a broader category. For folks that are looking to make a change in their career and move into one of these spaces, it can be a great signifier to a future client, a future co-founder, or a future employer, your dedication to that topic. Oftentimes, we find that Sloan Fellows MBAs might use these certificates kind of as a path that they're sort of following or choosing some electives from, rather than pursuing certificates because your interests might lie across various topics. Students can also customize the degree through action learning. And this is a teaching method where students are applying the theories and frameworks that they're learning in the classroom to a real world business challenge. You work with a real organization solving a specific challenge. Some of these action learning labs are focused on specific industries, some are focused on specific functions, some are focused on specific geographic contexts, and some are more interdisciplinary. I'll give you a snapshot of what the current action learning labs look like and when they run during the academic year. Some additional resources for customization. As a Sloan Fellows MBA student, you can cross-register courses in the broader MIT ecosystem and even at Harvard. So there are additional opportunities for that customization. Getting involved in various research centers across MIT can also kind of broaden that horizon and customize the degree a little bit more. This is a snapshot of the current action learning labs. You'll see a variety of ones listed here. Some of these action learning labs have travel components. For instance, Global Entrepreneurship Lab is a fall semester course that runs through IAP. And so during IAP, students typically spend 2 to 3 weeks on site with the host organization. Since they're working with companies in emerging markets, students are literally all over the world during IAP for that class. So a lot of opportunities for that hands-on learning, and for students that are looking to make some sort of change in their career, these are really great opportunities to kind of explore in a safe environment, and try out some new innovative ideas and propose solutions that hopefully will be implemented in the work that these organizations are doing. So we've talked a little bit about the curriculum, the flexible path, and how students customize it. Let's talk a little bit about the community. I think the Sloan Fellows MBA is certainly not just what you're doing in the classroom. It's a lot of what you're doing outside the classroom as well. And there's a strong emphasis on the community within the Sloan Fellows MBA, but also the broader Sloan community. Our students come from all over the world. This changes year over year, and this is the current classes makeup where they came to us from. So in terms of student life for our Sloan Fellows MBA students, oftentimes, given where students are at in their careers and their personal lives, they may be joining the program with folks that are supporting them, whether it's children, significant others, which we refer to as SOs. A lot of students are entering the program with that support system, whether the support system is coming with them to Cambridge or staying home. students kind of figure out what is best for them. For those that are bringing SOs and families, there is a very intentional effort to create community for those folks. And so there are specific programming for SOs and families, and then a lot of the programming that's designed for our fellows is open to SOs and families. An example of this at the when students return after their short break before the fall semester, they have a welcome back to campus event, typically on a Sunday, that's open to families and students. Oftentimes it's a picnic. Sometimes there may be additional add-ons to that. In previous years, they've had the opportunity to go to the Museum of Science, which is right down the road from Sloan. And so that was open to SOs and families to really build that community. There are some other events. There's often an event downtown that's kind of like a gala that is typically just open to fellows and SOs, no children at that. But there are a variety of different co-curricular programmings to ensure that community is built not just with the fellows, but with those that are here supporting them as well. Outside of that, our students get involved in a variety of different conferences, competitions, hackathons throughout the MIT ecosystem. One of our current Sloan Fellows is leading the Energy Conference, which is the largest student-led energy conference in the world. That is MIT focused. Some of our students are involved in Sloan-specific conferences or involved in the MIT 100K competition, Delta V Accelerator, and other opportunities within the Martin Trust Center. As we think about the different experiences that Sloan Fellows students are having, they kind of engage in three different areas. The first one being the MIT ecosystem. As a Sloan Fellows MBA student, you're also an MIT student, so you're able to join the hundreds of MIT clubs and organizations. You can get involved in a variety of research and innovation centers. Some popular ones are CSAIL, the Martin Trust Center, the MIT Media Lab. As you think on a smaller scale within the Sloan School, we have over 80 student-led clubs and organizations. These clubs range from focused on culture and arts to sports and recreation to specific industries or functions. So a variety of opportunities and experiences to be had in those. And then within the Sloan Fellows MBA program, there's also a lot of opportunity for leadership and extracurriculars. And so there are a lot of co-curricular activities that are designed to enhance the cohort experience for our Sloan Fellows students. Some of these committees include a career committee, which brings in folks that have roles that are available specifically for folks at a similar point in their career as our Sloan Fellows MBA students. There are Muddy Talks, which happen throughout the whole academic year, where every Friday, two students give a talk on their experiences, their life, whatever they want to share with their cohort. There is a women's committee, there is a New York City module committee, and a DC module committee. Our Sloan Fellows are going to New York City next week during SIP week. And this is an opportunity where you're not taking your fall semester courses, and it's an opportunity to engage more intentionally in leadership and ethics as the focus of this New York City module. Students opt into this, but most students choose to opt into it. And the committee for this provides co-curricular offerings outside of the leadership and speaker series that will happen throughout that module. The DC module is similarly structured, where students meet with executives and various folks in leadership roles. And then there's also additional co-curricular offerings. Oftentimes you're networking with Sloan Fellows and Executive MBA alumni who are in those areas as well. So a lot of opportunities to have an impact on the experiences that the cohort is having as well. So we've talked a little bit about the curriculum. We've talked about the community aspects. A lot of Sloan Fellows MBAs are joining the program to make some sort of change in their career. So let's talk about what support resources are available for students. As I mentioned before, students have executive coaching throughout the entire Sloan Fellows MBA program. Students are able to work one-on-one with these executive coach to help identify your strengths, your vision, make sure you have clarity in what you're hoping to get out of the program and move on to in your career next. And executive coaches really use that 360 leadership survey as a starting point for those conversations. You can choose to work with one specific executive coach or multiple throughout your time. As a Sloan student, you also have access to MIT Sloan industry advisors. These are alumni experts across more than 17 industries that can really provide that industry-specific guidance and advice. Students are able to make appointments with industry advisors similarly as they do to career coaches, and they're there to really provide that additional guidance, but also help with networking and connections. One of the things with the Sloan Fellows MBA is that the career process is very much student initiated and it's very much a networked job search and just in time hiring. So oftentimes students will start their very intentional search in the spring semester because that's when the roles start opening. And so you do a lot of prep work during the summer and the fall so that you're prepared for when those roles do become available. And a lot of it does require networking. And so industry advisors are a really great opportunity to expand your network in specific spaces so that you're prepared for the networked job search. And just overall, the Career Development Office is really there to work with you in partnership of your career goals, providing you the resources and directing you to new resources so that you can be successful in that career search. And career doesn't just stop within the Career Development Office. There are really opportunities everywhere throughout Sloan and MIT for you to explore, connect, experiment, and really find that next career path. And so oftentimes students are engaging in conferences and clubs and the broader MIT community, and all of these resources can really help as you explore and figure out what is next for you. So we've talked a bit about some of the different aspects of the program. Let's talk about applying to the program. Our first application deadline is coming up in just less than a week on Monday, October 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That is our first round one deadline. We strongly encourage international applicants to apply by the round one deadline. And as you're thinking about your application, there are a variety of components that you'll have to submit within the application. We require academic transcripts, a 300-word or less cover letter. Test scores are optional for the Sloan Fellows MBA. You'll provide an introductory video statement introducing yourself to your future classmates. The caveat being your future classmates won't ever see that video. It's just for us in the admissions committee to get to know you better. You'll provide one professional letter of recommendation, an organizational chart, your resume. You'll answer two short answer questions. The first one's about your professional goals, and the second one is about your general management experience. You'll answer the world that shaped you question, provide contact information for two additional references, and respond to video question 2, which is a randomly generated open-ended question that you'll have about 10 seconds to prepare for and 60 seconds to record. All of these materials are due by the deadline, so as you're thinking about who to ask to be your recommender, make sure that they know the deadline that they have to submit it by as well. And we just want to give a little caveat. If you are submitting your application around 3 p.m. on the deadline day and you have a few components to upload or a video to do, the system can be slower close to the deadline time. So just have a little patience with the system, and we're happy to work with you if there are any technical difficulties during that time as well. Once applicants apply, we review all applications, and then we invite a subset of folks to interview with us. All interviews are conducted virtually, and applicants respond to one short answer question prior to the interview, Details of that question and how to submit that will be included in an interview invitation email. So this is a glimpse of our current class. We had 116 students start in June this year. Students entered the program. The top 3 industries were finance, technology, government, education, and nonprofit. In terms of where students were coming from, I previously had up the globe, the world, and where folks were coming from with different percentages. We have 42 countries represented. 75% of our students are international, and 25% of our students are US or permanent residents. Students entered the program with 14 years of experience on average. Less than a third of our class had a previous advanced degree, and you'll see some additional statistics listed here. Hopefully, this gives you a good glimpse of what the current class looks like and also allows you to envision yourself in the Sloan Fellows MBA program one day. So we covered a lot, and I'm sure there have been a lot of questions that have been answered in the Q&A. I invite my colleague Catherine to join me for any additional questions that we have in the Q&A that we weren't able to get to.
Yes, thank you, Maddie, so much for the presentation. That definitely covered quite a bit. We do have a few questions in there that I would like to share. One is, what type of resources does a Sloan Fellow have that's not just at the school of management at Sloan? Are they able to engage with other departments or conferences outside of Sloan?
Yeah, absolutely. As a Sloan student, you're also an MIT student, and so we want students to engage as much in the resources at Sloan, no, at MIT as they do at Sloan. And so we certainly encourage it. There are a variety of students who are involved in different research initiatives across the institute. There are a number of students this year who are fellows within the, I'm forgetting the name of it. I apologize. It used to be Legatum. What's the new name, Catherine? Do you remember? It's like the Sharper
Yeah,
Center.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're focused on like entrepreneurship in emerging markets. So there are a few students who are fellows within that space, in addition to being a part of the Sloan Fellows MBA. Like I mentioned, one of our current Sloan Fellows is one of the folks leading the energy conference at MIT. And so definitely a lot of opportunities. It does take a little proactiveness on the students' part to engage with those, but plenty of opportunities. And oftentimes, if you talk with any of our students, they'll say there are far more opportunities than you will have the time to engage with. And so, thinking about what's most important to you and engaging with that. But we encourage you to, as you have the bandwidth, to do all that you're interested in.
Great, thank you. And for those who are joining today that have military experience, what's the best way for them to share that in the application and chart?
Yeah, there are a few different ways. If you are currently involved in your military service, including that on your resume in the employment section, and that would also show up in your organizational chart. If you're not currently serving, you can still include it in all of those spaces, definitely including it on your resume. It may show up in some of the other questions that you answer as well. So video question 1, your introductory video question, you might talk a little bit about your experiences there. It could show up in your cover letter with examples from your experiences. And so we really encourage you to use all the spaces to share whatever details you would like to about those experiences, and we're excited to hear about them.
Thank you. A quick question. On our slide deck, we mostly mentioned the EA score and shared that median, but someone was asking if we have any range or median for GMAT.
Yeah, we don't have one published. Because test scores are completely optional for the Sloan Fellows MBA, we have a large number of current students who did not provide a test score during their application process. And so there's limited numbers of test scores reported for that. Most often for the Sloan Fellows MBA, students are providing an executive assessment score if they're providing a score. Again, completely optional. but there's not enough data to provide those data points.
Thank you. Another question from someone, if they're in between the Sloan Fellows or MBA and they're trying to decide between, which program would be best for them to apply to, what advice would you give them, specifically for maybe someone who has maybe 9 years of work experience right now?
Yeah, we definitely get this question a lot, and I can provide a little bit of guidance, but it's also requires a little bit of reflection on the applicant's side to figure out what might be best for them. Between our 2-year MBA and our Sloan Fellows MBA, one of the biggest differences of the programs is who they're designed for. So our 2-year MBA students oftentimes are more individual contributors looking to make a pivot in their career. And so the program's really designed, most students complete an internship between year 1 and year 2 to support that change in their career. For our Sloan Fellows MBA students, oftentimes they are not individual contributors. One of the things we're looking for within our Sloan Fellows MBA applicants is general management experience. And so folks that are leading functions, leading organizations, have responsibility for strategy and or budget, those are the folks that the Sloan Fellows MBA is designed for. The core is based on the foundation that every student has general management experience. And so that's one of the key differences in the experiences that students are entering the program with. The experiences that you have in the program, for Sloan Fellows MBA students, there is no internship. And so if that's something you're really looking for in a program, you might consider the 2-year MBA. There are still plenty of opportunities for students to make a pivot in their career through the Sloan Fellows MBA program. And so those support resources are still there. So I think it really depends what experience you're hoping for out of the program and also what you're hoping for in your peers. Sloan Fellows MBAs have about 14 years of experience on average. Our 2-year MBAs have about 5 years of experience on average. And so thinking about the folks that you'll be sitting next to in your core classes, the backgrounds of those folks, if that matters to you, really figuring out which program might be best for you. You are welcome to apply to both our 2-year MBA and our Sloan Fellows MBA if you're still kind of unsure or think that both programs could be a good fit for you. But I think really thinking about those experiences of yourself and the peers can help you figure out which might be the better fit.
Thank you. And as a follow-up to that, a couple of questions around years of experience. If you have, you'll have a little bit under 10 if you apply by the time you would matriculate, or you're not right there. Is the requirement a hard requirement, or is there some flexibility?
Yeah. We do say we are looking for 10 years of experience. I will say in the current class, we do have a couple students who were right under 10 years of experience. One of the things that's most important in the experience is having general management experience. So if you're at 9.5 years with general management experience, certainly you could be eligible for the Sloan Fellows program. If you're at 9.5 years of experience and don't have general management experience, we would direct you to the 2-year MBA program.
Great, thank you for that. Pivoting to an application question,
Mhm.
the video 1 and video 2, we get a lot of anxiety around those. So folks are asking for guidance for both of them and sharing a little more around them.
Yeah. These videos are, I wouldn't say make or break for your application. It's just one component of the broader application. We consider everything kind of as a whole package and who you are as a whole person. Within the videos, the first one, it's really to get to know you better. Oftentimes, students will share more personal aspects to themselves, maybe their interests, what they like to do outside of work. And it's really a great opportunity for us to get to know you more outside of what's already on paper in your resume and your cover letter in those more professional aspects. You're welcome to share professional details in the video statement, but you can really share whatever you would like to share with the admissions committee. I really enjoy watching them because it really brings to life who you are as a person through that 60-second video. The second video is the randomly generated open-ended response. And these videos are really to just see how you think on your feet, how you communicate authentically. There are no right or wrong answers to those questions. It can be nerve-wracking to have 10 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to record, and you just have the one chance at it. But again, it's really to just see how you think and how you kind of communicate authentically. It's a great way for us to see how you might show up in the Sloan classroom one day. Most of the questions are about your experiences. So tell me about a time when something happened, or what's your proudest achievement. There are some additional questions to see just how you think, like if you were a punctuation mark, what one would you be? And so, again, no right or wrong answers, just seeing how you articulate your thoughts. Prior to starting the video question, you will have the opportunity to kind of test out the software. Well, you'll be required to confirm that your video works, that your audio works. You'll be able to see where the question will populate, where it shows that you're recording, and how much time you have left. So you'll get a feel for the system before you start. So just make sure you feel comfortable with that system before you click the checkbox saying you're ready to go. Um, but again, try to have fun with them. They hopefully shouldn't be too stressful. You can approach them as you would an interview question or just a conversation. We're really just looking to get to know you better through those two videos.
Thank you. And then, so another question around the world that shaped you, essay question that we ask.
Mhm.
Would you suggest or advise that folks kind of focus on earlier years or more recent years in in their life experience?
Yeah. An applicant can kind of take it whichever direction they would like. I would say oftentimes we see applicants kind of talk about their whole life experiences and how it led them to where they are today. But you could also talk about a more recent example. It's really up to you what you want to share about your background and how the world that you're coming from has shaped who you are. So feel free to provide newer examples or an earlier one that has shaped your life going forward.
Thank you. Other than the length of the program, how is it different? Does the curriculum differ between the MBA and SFMBA programs?
Yeah. Some of the core classes, the titles may be the same between the MBA and the Sloan Fellows MBA. The core classes for Sloan Fellows are designed with, again, the basis that every student has general management experience, which is a different level of experience than our two-year MBAs. And so while the titles may be the same, they are geared to those specific student populations. Once you finish your core classes, the rest of your classes are electives. Oftentimes, electives are open to students across Sloan. And so you could be sitting in class next to many two-year MBAs. You could be sitting in class next to Masters of Finance or Masters of Business Analytics students. There's a variety of folks that you'll engage with, but those core classes are designed for Sloan Fellows. And then the rest of the classes, depending on which ones you choose, are designed for various points in folks' careers.
Great, thank you. And just going through, I know we've answered a lot of questions. Some are asking, is the program full-time? Is that set in stone, or is there flexibility with that?
Yeah. The program is full-time, fully immersive for the 12 months. We do get questions like, can I work while pursuing the degree? The short answer is no. You are spending the large majority of your time in classes, and to get the full experience of the program, engaging with things outside of the classroom, different extracurriculars and co-curriculars. So a large majority of your time is spent focused either on the curriculum or the outside the classroom. So there is not time for a full-time job within this program. And it's really designed for students to take, I would say, a pause in their careers to kind of redefine their leadership and prepare for the next step in their career. And so it's really designed for students to not be working during the program.
Thank you. And I think probably the last question, because we really have answered a lot, would be, do you have any advice for reapplicants?
Yeah. We get this question a lot, and I think as you approach the application as a reapplicant, you probably have a lot of questions on not much might have changed in the last 6 months or year since you applied. How do you really stand out in the applicant pool? As a reapplicant, we want to see whatever new information or data you have to share. And so updating your resume, using all of the spaces to provide as much new information as possible, potentially asking for a new recommender to provide a new letter, or if you ask the same recommender, still having them provide a new letter with new details. Um, as a reapplicant, we have double the data on you. We'll have your reapplicant application in addition to your initial application. And so we'll be able to see what those changes were from your previous application to now. So, really highlighting those changes in your application is really important. You also have a dedicated section to provide a summary or kind of the highlights of what has changed since you last applied. So, use all of those spaces to provide as much new information as much new data as possible for us in the admissions committee. And every year we have um, reapplicants who are successful in admission. And so my biggest tip is just providing as much new information as you're able to, since we already have your previous application and all of that information on file.
Thanks so much, Maddie. Well, I think we've covered most of the questions. This is a great presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Catherine. And thank you, everyone, for such great questions and staying engaged with us for today's information session. If you do have additional questions, you're welcome to email us or attend one of our upcoming events. With our application deadline in less than a week, we hope to see many of your applications then. But we look forward to staying in touch, and we really thank you all for joining us for today's session. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.